Hello everybody, my name is Richard Vigorelli and this is Vigorelli Institute. Now, before we get started, again, like I said in the last video, this by the way is part 2 and we're going to cover G.I. Joe itself. But before we get to that, this is the flag of the new Roman Empire. And come here, I'm going to move this over so you can see it a little bit better. Ain't that awesome? Yeah, I made that myself. I'm really quite proud of it. Okay. This flag, by the way, is available for purchase on my website at vimandvigorelli.com, link in the description. Now, these pictures are originals for my most recently released book of lore called Homo Sapiens Mysticus. It explains the Fae from my novel series that I'm writing. Book 1 is called The Hidden Race. Okay? Homo Sapiens Mysticus is kind of dreamt up at the end of book 1 and will take center stage as an in-universe book in book 2, which is probably going to be called Stonecutter. And once you read book 1, you will get exactly what that means. Now, let's get back to the video, shall we? So, like I said in the previous video, I have been watching a lot of YouTube lately, and one of those things that I have been watching has been old Generation 1, Generation 2 episodes of G.I. Joe on Hasbro's channel. Love it. Okay, I actually grew up watching this. It's reclaiming part of my childhood. Absolutely loved the show. Had so many of the toys, all of which are gone now, by the way. Very sad, but that's okay. And still love the show to this day. I'm pushing middle-aged. Okay, go ahead, introduce it to your kids. It'll probably do them some good. Now, in the course of watching the show, and I also saw this as a kid, things didn't make sense, and that's because it was for children. Had it been for adults, a lot different. Okay, now, in the show, the shooty sticks didn't really do a lot other than, you know, maybe kind of sort of blow stuff up, maybe-ish. And the various other things that they would throw at each other didn't really do a lot. Everybody always got away. Yeah. No, not real. So this is about real-world logic. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the organization of G.I. Joe and I'm going to put it into our world. Okay? Let's say they actually exist. What would that probably look like? Let's take a look around, shall we? So G.I. Joe, according to the lore, is a military group based out of the United States as an answer to a terrorist group called Cobra. And I'm going to do a video on them next. Okay? They are there to stop the evil machinations of Cobra and Cobra Commander. They are using United States military know-how, resources, and ability. The members of G.I. Joe are taken from the United States military for various levels of performance and skill. Okay, everybody in G.I. Joe is the best of the best of the best, with honors, sir, and 50 bonus points if you caught that one. Now, they all have ranks. They're kind of sort of gone into in the show-ish, but not really. There's some kind of command structure, but it's not really evident in the show as to the way they talk to each other, as to the way orders are given and received. It just kind of happens. The guy that runs G.I. Joe, his name is General Flag, with 2 G's, which means it is most definitely an acronym, and it's also written on his personnel card as an acronym. Everybody else has some kind of call sign or code name that they know each other by. Okay? They've got really cool tech. Everybody's got this wild and outlandish costume that is kind of sort of military-ish. And they all seem to get along kind of sort of. Okay, you've got Marines hanging out with Army and Navy hanging out with Marines, and Everybody apparently gets on just fine except for when they don't, and it's a plot point. Anyway, moving on. Now, this could actually happen. We actually do have many special forces organizations within the United States military, and other nations have the same, that fulfill black ops and covert ops positions. They do certain things that we don't want the general population to know about, because that would be bad. Okay? This is real. There's a group called Delta Force. There's the SEALs, all of that. Delta Force is the most classified of the lot. Their call signs do change. And when you go in, you probably do not know the guy's real name. You know, he's just Cutter or whatever his name is, all right? And that's the way it is in G.I. Joe. So I can see that happening, okay? It is very well funded by the United States government. That is because Cobra is a very clear and present threat. Now, in our world, probably going to be a little bit different, okay? Now, G.I. Joe is most likely going to be a highly specialized SWAT group, okay? They are going to be heavily trained in basically everything. They're going to be as close to expert in everything as they can possibly get. However, they're going to have very certain specialties that they are just going to constantly rebuild and build up on. Okay, you're going to have combat units. You're going to have communications units, sailor units, and all of this. And their sphere is their sphere. Okay, if an engagement happens and an organization like Cobra is there, then G.I. Joe is going to get activated. Okay, they may actually have a G.I. Joe unit within the military base that is just regular military, whatever that may be. Okay, and the G.I. Joe guys are probably going to be functioning as kind of like emergency command units, or as emergency, I guess you would call them Vanguard, okay? In that when the Cobra stuff goes down, these are the guys that lead the charge, and the regular military comes in behind them. Okay. Now, I said in the last video, regular old land battles are probably not going to be a thing, and I'll get to why in Cobra's video. Okay. So, because in war you want to use proportional force rather than overwhelming force, because resources, G.I. Joe is probably not going to be that big. Okay, we're talking maybe a few hundred people, okay? And quite a few of those people are going to be support units, which means the most efficient way to do this is to have G.I. Joe kind of tacked on to the regular U.S. military, okay? That way, they don't have to get another secretary. They don't have to get another guy to handle the accounting. It's already done, okay? The accounting corps is the accounting corps. They're still going to be Army. They're just going to be handling the specialist Army that is G.I. Joe. Okay? And it's more of a squad or brigade, maybe platoon. Okay? And that's it. As far as their tech goes, yeah, they're probably going to be cutting edge, bleeding edge with technology, just because they're going to need to stay either right behind or ahead of Cobra in order to defeat them. Okay. I'm also willing to bet that because of the nature of Cobra and how nasty these guys would be, once you go into G.I. Joe, your past life is redacted. Okay. Until you are released. There's no connection between whatever your code name is and you. Okay, so let's say I were to join G.I. Joe. My name is Richard Vigorelli, and if I were in it, I wouldn't be known as I don't know, Major Vigorelli or whatever it is that got me into there. That would be my rank, okay? As far as my family is concerned, I would still be part of, let's say, the Army, and I'm just out on long-term detachment. That's it, okay? I'm in the field, I'm doing whatever it is I do, but I can't talk about it. I'm there. It could be anything. We don't know. We don't even know where I am, okay? We can't say, okay? National security, okay? Now, what my family wouldn't know is that I'm part of G.I. Joe, and my name is, Paladin, okay? And I am a combat unit. I'm also medical. So I am pulling guys out, I'm fighting off nasty things at the exact same time, I'm administering medicine, while also playing with shooty sticks, okay? And once my tour, we'll say it's 5 years, is done, I am released, my call sign is then retired, and I go back to A, civilian life, or B, I go back to regular military, or I can re-up and continue, okay? That's the way this would behave. I could ascend in rank, who knows, okay? I wouldn't necessarily have a special outfit, meaning I wouldn't be out there, in this bright blue armor, helmet, and all that stuff. I'd probably look like anybody, but I'd most likely have a very special patch, okay? That was some kind of insignia, some kind of group thing that designates me, oh, he's part of this group. They actually do have this in the military. If you join a given squad, a given division, within the Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, etc., you'll get a little special patch that says, hey, I'm part of this group. If you find my parts, this is who to talk to. Okay, hey, I did this. That way when you're sitting around the mess, they know who you are and whether or not they like you. Okay. Once all that is done, I would probably be forced to remain completely silent. And I am the only one that will ever know I was ever part of G.I. Joe. I was just part of the Army, and that's all. Okay? So, that is about it. If you're new to the channel, hit this big red subscribe button thingy here. Leave a like, leave a comment, ring the bell, other YouTube stuff. And if you would like to support me, please visit my websites, vigintmed.com and vimandvigorelli.com. I have links in there to merchandise, such as this, and other things. There's wall art, there's shirts, pants, yeah, seriously, oh yes, hoodies, flags, puzzles even, okay, of maps that I have created. Oh yes, oh yes. And also feel free to check out my books. They are available on Amazon. Within the universe of Dorian Strapios, I right now have The Hidden Race, that's a novel, Fey Earth, and Homo Sapiens Mysticus. Both of these are lore videos, and once my copy of Homo Sapiens Mysticus arrives from Amazon, I'm going to be doing a very, very special video showcasing all three of these books. Okay? So, I'll be back later with Cobra, and we're going to take a look at these guys and why they would actually be such a threat, if a threat at all. So, take care, guys. Bye-bye.